Welcome to my visual existentialism on the Mandalorian's Chapter 15, The Believer. This episode seemed to do three things really well. It showed all the different terrible things that the people in the galaxy are going through because of this constant war. It also showed to us the character development that we've been seeing for the last seasons. 2 seasons, really. And finally, it put us right in the seat of the Star Wars universe. Something that was done really well this episode was kind of showing everything that was going on in the car in the conversation when they were trying to transport the Rhydonium to invade the Imperial base. It doesn't matter who's warring. I think that this was further emphasized in the story when Officer Hess and Mayfield were talking about everything that's going on, and it seemed like officers were just like, yeah, 10,000 lives, whatever, that's nothing. And if that was just one battle, which is probably one small snippet of the very large empire of everything that's going on, no pun intended, just how much more of this really goes on in that universe. And I think that was really well done with this episode. It's just, wow, there's a lot of things going on here. It's not just simple, and I love that. Also, Mayfield acting as a basically stand-in for the audience when he was asking Mando all those questions, and Mando just like, I will not answer them, right? That was pretty great because I feel as if though Mayfield was our conduit into this world, right? It's just like, oh yeah, that's what we would do if we had the chance. All the stuff he did. So yeah, as far as fan service, I think that did a really good job. But the most, I guess, appealing thing that this whole episode did was acknowledge the character development that has been going on through the past 2 seasons. In that dialogue between Mayfield and Mando, they were talking about how you're basically just born into this universe, and wherever it is that you're born, this is what determines the things that you believe. And he was talking about Alderaan and Mandalorian. Those don't exist anymore, so what do they really have left? And I think he kind of boiled it down perfectly at the end when he's like, it doesn't matter what you do, so long as you can sleep at night. And I think that is just really, really, really being reinforced here as far as Mando goes, because, he has, this is the way. He has basically his whole belief, which was reinforced again at the beginning of season 2 when Bo-Katan came down and was like, yeah, he's one of that, yeah. But really, I think all he really cares about is Grogu. He's not giving up on Grogu, and it seems like he is literally willing to do anything for this kid. He took off his mask, which is inconsequential to us, but someone like him, you could really see visually just how awkward and terrible it felt for him. He's so used to not giving answers that he didn't even know how to talk when he was being questioned by Hess. And from a character development point too, it's just, I think this episode kind of flipped the script a little bit on who we think are the good guys and who we think are the bad guys. Obviously, we still have a clear concession on that, but when Mando was calling them pirates, yet they were acting more like rebels who were just literally destroying that Rhydonium so it wouldn't get into their hands to help make this war even worse, right? If they were pirates, they would have been trying to steal it, but they weren't. That was a whole thing onto itself. It's just like, when those 2 TIE fighters came in, it seemed like, yeah, people were cheering for them, people were excited about that, but how often in Star Wars are we rooting for Imperial forces with their TIE fighters to come and do what they did, right? So again, it's just literally the circumstance of where you're from, and if you can sleep at night. Also, once again, it wouldn't really be a Mandalorian review if I didn't talk a little bit about the choreography. I really, really love the choreography where you saw Mando still kind of feeling like he had Beskar at the beginning of the fight, and he was just defending and everything, thinking he was just a tank that was going to take about 14,000 hits, but nope, his armor was getting destroyed, and he was getting overpowered over and over and over again. Granted, you did kind of see him start switching to a way more offensive attack, but the moment he started getting outnumbered, he was done. I think that the Mandalorian that we know is probably one of the weakest fighters, but still, I think, like I said, once again, the choreography, really, really great. I swear I'm going to learn that name at some point, whoever the choreographer for these fight scenes is, or soon. The final thing that I want to go over what this episode, I think, kind of tried to show visually, there's a very cyclical nature to it, and in the recaps, the first thing, it's Moff Gideon saying, "He means more to me than you'll ever know." And then at the end, it ends with Mando saying, "He means more to me than you'll ever know." That, given everything else that happened in this episode and the way that the final episode of season 1 ended, with us crying over robots, right? I know everyone cried, even you. I think that they were kind of setting it up to foreshadow that maybe there is a stronger bond, almost a father-like bond between Moff Gideon and Grogu, similar to what Mando and Grogu have. Granted, obviously, one of them probably isn't doing a lot of very nice things, but maybe that's what they're setting up to. And I think that they're going to get us to try and be empathetic with Moff Gideon in this next episode, just given the cyclical nature of this episode, and also very much how the last episode, it started very much the same way that it ended, right? So it was just Mando jetpacking in with Grogu, and then at the end it was those dark stormtroopers jetpacking out with Grogu. That kind of parallelism and just cyclical nature is just making me really think there's something else that we're going to learn during the next episode, and it's going to be everything. I am hoping so much that it is not going to be a cliffhanger. That would be absolutely upsetting, but it happens. I did read somewhere it's going to probably be around 56 minutes. So that's a little bit longer than 3 Rebels episodes, and I've never seen them take that many episodes to break in and break out of a ship. So I think there's going to be a lot for us to watch. I'm fairly excited. There's a bunch of cool little Easter eggs in there. Obviously, Mando removing his helmet, Mayfield seeing his face, Boba Fett being like, "Yep, they'd probably recognize my face." That seismic bomb at the end, the blue one, where... yeah, lots of great stuff, especially for longtime viewers. But for everyone else, it was still awesome, a really great thing. I'm about 2 episodes away from finishing Rebels and really kind of understanding how it's all going to play. I think I'm going to try and finish those tomorrow night. Just hopefully, because I do think that in the last episode, Ezra is going to show up, or someone is going to show up. Something is going to happen. And I'm just really excited for it. So what did you think? What do you think? Maybe is Moff Gideon Grogu's father to some degree? Let me know in the comments down below, and please like and subscribe. Thanks. Till next time.